So now that 2026 is finally here, I believe I should continue on with my Demon List predictions and just make some overall Geometry Dash predictions for this year. So these are going to be including levels that I think are going to actually be finished decorating, levels that are going to get rated, personal goals, and just some other things that I feel like might happen. So yeah, I think we should just get on with the video. So first I want to get started with levels that are more than likely going to be finished by the end or by just some time this year. So number one is going to be Exasperation. Now, the only reason that I'm saying this level is going to be finished this year is because this level has been quote unquote 95% done for like 3 years now. Yeah, totally 95% done for that long. Totally. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this level finally get finished, especially considering Zoinks verifying it. So, I mean, if they really get into the swing of decorating it, then obviously it's gonna get finished because of the pressure of Zoink also already having this level in 3 runs. So yeah, I think it would just be cool to finally see this level get finished and just maybe even verified by the end of this year. So let's move on to the next level that should hopefully get finished by this year. Alright, so next level is going to be Ascension to Heaven. Now, the last time we saw a fruit preview on this level was over a year ago at this point, back in October of 2024. Now, I do think just due to the overall progress with this level, it probably has a pretty good chance of getting finished by this year if there are still people trying to decorate it. Now, verification-wise, it might not happen considering Denny just beat Tartarus, which I'm pretty sure is his hardest. By the way, he's pretty glad that kid lived. But anyways, yeah, I think this level is going to be finished, and when verified, I've already said this in a couple videos, will more than likely get Mythic, even though Raptop has a higher standpoint for a lot of levels. And also just the overall, I guess, legacy that this level has had on a lot of people, it would just finally be cool to see it be finished. Even if it takes a while to be verified, as a current and very active player in Geometry Dash, I would just love to see every single, new best, 50% run, new best, 65%. It would just be really cool to see this level finally be finished after, a century, basically. But a century, well, that's also where the next level comes in. Okay, so our next level is going to be Misanthrope. Now, this one, I said, this is where, the century comes in, because this level has been in the works since 2020. Mind you, that was a year before I started playing this game. So I was still around when this level was still a decent amount of discussion around it. But now, there was really only the second preview that brought a lot of discussion to this level. Now, there's a good amount of the level that is done, but there's also a good amount of the level that isn't. So I feel like with the current situation that the level is in, because it's not at a complete standpoint, there are still people working on it. For instance, Vortrox. Yeah, that guy. Anyways, I just feel like there is a lot of progress to be made on this level with the decoration, but a year isn't that long when it comes to the decoration process of a Geometry Dash level. Now, it would make sense for this level to take over a year to get decorated, especially if, the people who are behind this level want to make it as influential as it is. Because, believe it or not, I had a level called Fragile Force back in sometime around 2023/2022 that was heavily inspired by this level. Of course, I don't have it since I switched phones and didn't have my account back then, so I couldn't have backed up anything to a save. So it is very unfortunate that I lost that level, but it is heavily inspired. It used the same song, the same game modes, same, gameplay style. Yeah, I just really thought this level was cool. So I feel like just due to how influential this level is, it would make sense to see this level take over a year to get finished decoration. But if it doesn't, hey, that's fine. So let's get on to the next level. Alright, so the next level I think could have a chance of being finished by the end of this year is Tsunami by Onilink. Now, I know this one's a bit of a stretch just due to how complex the decoration of this level is. But, Onilink has been decorating the level for what? 8 months, I'm pretty sure at this point. I didn't really check before this, but I can right now. So it turns out I was wrong. The decoration process for Tsunami, the first ever live stream, was actually back on September 24th, 2024. So it has been around a year and a fourth since this level started decoration. Now, it does seem like the level is majority done when it comes to like some of the parts. For instance, this part showing in the video right now, of course, isn't done, but I guess the background is. So, I mean, considering Link's decoration, a good estimate would be late this year or possibly even early into next year. So, this one is a pretty big if it will end up getting finished by the end of this year. And if it does, cool. Now we can have a new top one to look forward to when Zoink finally beats it. But, I mean, this Zoink wants this to be his big level, so this level might take multiple months to get verified, considering Thinking Space 2 took him 90,000, no, not 90,000, that was Nullscapes, and Nullscapes is a top 4. So you could only imagine with this, like, I'm pretty sure expected to be harder than Grief. Like, this level is not going to be easy by any means necessary. This is probably going to be one of the only levels that Zoink will take over 100,000 attempts to beat. And I mean, that would be cool to see. This will mean that it would have pulled Geometry Dash into a new skill ceiling. And that would be cool to see. Now, that's about all the levels that I wanted to talk about. Now, there are a couple more, but, I mean, hey, you might end up skipping a few. So, it's fine. And also, I don't want this to be a 30-minute long section of me just rambling on about, oh, this level will get finished at some point, and it's a level that has, like, 2 downloads on the server. So, we're going to move on to the next one, which will be levels that might get rated when they're finished. And by that, I mean finished being decorated and beaten. So I'm gonna get my least favorite level out of the way, Cosmos Unleashed. Now, our Shadow actually, like, a couple hours before this video is being, like, currently made before editing and all that, he beat an ultra nerfed part of the level, which is still supposedly, like, a top 4 difficulty as of right now. Now, this level, I think, will probably end up getting a feature rating, honestly, because it is really effect heavy and relies on it a lot on this level. Now, as this level has gone older, I will say some of the decoration, like in the part before this, has grown on me, but that's about the only part of the level I like. All this, I think, is just really cash grabby, and, I mean, it's a hard level for sure, but, I mean, there's not many originality points. We've already had multiple space themes top 1. For instance, Blade of Justice. Yeah, that's a space theme level. We all knew this. But I just feel like this level could get rated when it's finished, especially considering our Shadow has 19 to 91, which is the entire drop part. So, yeah, let's move on to the next level. So let's get the obvious out of the way, Grief. Now, this level, I also think will be V in this year. You can go watch my Demon List predictions video. By the way, for some clarity, I didn't do much research before that video, so my apologies for making some people think that was rage bait. It wasn't. I'm just stupid, okay? And also, I'm very bad at the game. My hardest is an easy demon. So, yeah, just get that out of your mind. Anyways, so this level, I think, could have a good chance of getting an epic rating. Now, I don't think anything like a legendary or mythic will end up happening, but I will say this level does the Hell theme very, very well. Like, it does it perfectly. And so I would like to see it at least get an epic. If it somehow manages to get a legendary or even mythic, which I think is out of the picture, it would be cool. And also, this level will obviously be a top 1. That's very, very clear. Now, with Doggy as of right now being the verifier, which he will be, he already has 83%, I don't know how much longer this level will take. Considering he is extremely mind-blocked with some of these parts, it could be a little bit until we see the actual verification of this level. Now, that would be unfortunate, as for the current mental state Doggy is in is not good, especially for beating the hardest level in the game. It's not a good spot to be in. And so I would like to see the level just kind of beat itself, really, and finally put Doggy's suffering to rest. And I know he just came off of Avernus. I thought I said Eternus for a second. Oh my goodness. But I would like to just see his suffering come to an end and finally put this level in its resting place for other people to beat and for it to also be up on the servers for other people to try. Now, I already know there are some people trying, for instance, the guy who's jumping from Sukuben Hell to this level, and he already has it in like 4 runs. By the way, props to that guy. That is an insane jump. That is close to the difficulty of the jump I'm doing, which I'm going to talk about here in a couple minutes. But yeah, I just really want to see this level beaten. I really hope he beats it soon and finally gets to get past the suffering of this level. Alright, so this one's also pretty obvious. Orbit. So Orbit by Minecraft and more is a very, very good level and has an extremely good chance of getting a legendary. Now, Epic is also a chance considering Minecraft already got Limbo and Epic, and this is roughly on the plane of that decoration. I was almost going to say difficulty, but it's way harder than that. Now, I do think just due to the 2.2 part of this level, it's going to, of course, have a lot better gameplay and also a lot better decoration. So, I do think this level will overall get legendary, and I just would like to see this level get placed on the list soon, and it probably will. Zoink is already only a couple streams in and has a lot of the level done. So yeah, it'd just be cool to see this level get finished, and finally, or no, it already is finished. I guess just see this level get beaten. Alright, so the next level and the last level in this little section is going to be Heliopolis by Minecraft, yet again. So this level is very cool, as for it is very timing focused and also only 0.5 speed. Now, we haven't had a super popular 0.5 speed level like this, I guess since Acropolis, which was made back in 1.9. Now, there have been levels that are 0.5 speed, but none of them have really gotten to the acclaim of this level. So many people know this level that it's actually insane. Now, since I've been in the game for a decent amount of time, I still remember when this level's layout came out, and I thought this level was impossible, and, I tried remaking that robot part that you just saw, and did horribly. I made it, like, a 2-star part, and it was really easy for me to beat. But anyways, I would like to see this level get beaten, and I definitely do think it could get an epic. Not a legendary, but the last part does hold up extremely well, and I do think that's mainly why it would get an epic. If the decoration stayed how it does for most of the level, it'd probably only get a future, honestly. And you also gotta remember, this is coming from someone who has made multiple really good looking levels. If you go check out my terminal preview, you'll see what I mean. I'm a very good creator and pretty able to tell the scope of what most levels will look like. This is not just coming from your average Joe Schmo who makes layouts for fun or just stupid challenges for YouTube Shorts. I actually make levels, and I know how difficult it is. Anyways, I just think just due to the sheer difficulty of this level and also just the sheer decoration, it will be able to get an epic. Now, it will get verified this year. That's pretty obvious. As long as the verifiers don't switch yet again, it has a really, really good shot of getting verified this year. So, I'm going to stop rambling and get to now my personal goals for this year. Alright, so first of all, my goal is to get new record beaten. Now, I just got 33 to 52 a couple days ago, and that is almost 20% of the level. Now again, I already almost have 10,000 attempts on this level, and I'm really just trying to perfect the ending part. Now, I have gotten like multiple 61 to 74 runs, and I actually do have 74 to 90, and 90 to 94, and 94 to 96, and 96 to 100. So technically, I have 61 to 100 in around 4 runs. Now that is really good. Now, the only thing I will have to say is that when I do end up beating this level, it's going to have to be an LDM. Because, I mean, look at how insane this decoration is. My potato of a phone could barely run this at 60 FPS, much less 90 FPS, which is what it usually runs at. So, yeah, it's obviously going to be a bit less decorated, but I don't think that will matter too much for the difficulty of the level. So, yeah, with almost 10,000 attempts in, I would say I'm doing relatively well, considering my hardest is an easy demon. Now, I keep having to bring up the point. I am the least wave carried person on this planet. I am ship and cube carried, which is particularly why I chose this level. Mainly because it doesn't involve wave too much, and that it's mainly sync based. So it shouldn't be that difficult, right? Well, it's actually pretty hard. It's 120 spots above that. Now, the only reason why I think the medium demon I've completed is not as hard as the easy demon I've completed is because Ultra Paracosm, my current hardest, is extremely wave-based. And so, instead of me actually beating it in roughly 54 attempts, I have to come clean with something. It took me roughly 720 attempts to beat that level. Yeah, that's a lot of attempts. And guess what? With Can't Let Go Copy, it only took me 183 attempts. Because there are no wave parts in that level. And it's honestly pretty easy. So yeah, that's why I'm just always going to say I'm jumping from an easy demon to new record. Now, I'm really trying to get this level beaten before the end of my school year, which ends just before June. So I have roughly around 5 months to beat it. Now, I have been attempting new record for around 2-ish months now, and for that amount of time, I do have some pretty good runs. And also, if you guys didn't know, I play on an A13 phone and not like a tablet. So take that into consideration. It's a lot harder to play on a phone than the tablet. So yeah, I just really want to try getting this level beaten by the end of the year. Alright, so my next goal is to finish my level Terminal 18 and to hopefully start the verification process of it. Now, this will hopefully be my second extreme demon beaten because I really did try to make this an easier extreme. I will buff it appropriately and nerf some parts if it feels too imbalanced. So what I'm hopefully going to do is once I'm done with the new record, I either A, beat Pumped Up Kicks as a kind of revenge, as for I dropped that level after actually getting some pretty good runs. I did manage to get 70 to 100 times 2, and so that was pretty cool. And I also did get 23 to 46, I'm pretty sure, twice. So I did get some pretty good runs on that level, but I never ended up beating it. So it's either A, I beat this after new record, or I beat Pumped Up Kicks, then this level after new record. I also have to get some decoration finished up, so yeah. Hopefully I just get all that finished by the end of next year. I mean this year, sorry. Alright, so my next goal is not actually Geometry Dash related. It's more about me in real life. So here in a couple days, I'm going to start this thing where 1 subscriber equals a 1 mile bike ride. So I'm just giving up you guys a heads up, if you guys are seeing this video, to subscribe so I can have longer bike rides. And also, for every like I get on the short that I'll be doing hopefully around daily, I'll add an extra 1/10 of a mile. So if I get 10 likes, I'll do an extra mile. If I get 100 likes, I'll do an extra 10 miles. Yeah, this is sounding really bad in my head now that I'm saying it out loud. No, never mind. Instead of a 1/10 of a mile, we're doing a 20th of a mile. So every like is 0.05 miles. So yeah, basically what I'm just going to try doing overall is getting a lot more used to bike riding. Because my goal for the entirety of 2025 was to run every day. Now, I stopped doing that in around July because I just kind of forgot about it. I did it a couple times in August and September, but it really just stopped in October and November. And, I mean, I got better at running. I did a couple 5Ks and did really good and got really high for my age category. So, yeah, I would say doing that helped. Now, I do want to get a little bit more into biking because it seems pretty fun. So, yeah, that's going to be one of my goals for this year, overall. And then for my last goal of this year is to try my hardest to get a rated level. Now, I know that's not going to be easy. The chances of you getting a rated level are 0.003%, just due to the amount that there are rated. Now, some of the reason why I'm making these videos about my creating process is for the hope of a moderator seeing them, and hopefully thinking, hey, maybe when they're done beating this level, and maybe even verifying it, I can send it. So what I'm going to start doing from now on is try to make a few easier side levels, anywhere from like a 4 to a 7 star, and see if I can get them rated. Now, of course, that probably won't end up happening, but I'll still keep a bit of hope in with that. So, who knows? Maybe I might get a rated level, and maybe I might not. Now, that's fine if I don't. I don't really mind. As long as my level gets a bit of publicity and people actually see it, I would still say that's a pretty good win. And as long as also people like it. Now, I do have a few people that I know in Geometry Dash that do make really good levels. For instance, Hippie Banana. Also, your level color in the cracks is really good. But yeah, he was one of the first ever people to watch one of my Twitch live streams. He literally watched, I'm pretty sure, my first ever and like only ever Twitch live stream when I still did them. But yeah, cool guy. Definitely go check out his levels if you haven't. But yeah, I'm just hoping I can maybe get a rated level to hopefully maybe also break up my chances of getting terminal rated. Or maybe terminal is the level that I get rated. So yeah, those are all my personal predictions. And I guess the end of the video. So thank you guys for watching this 20-minute long video. You know what also is almost 20 minutes? A third of an hour. So yeah, you learn a new thing every day. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.